I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to Oops the Podcast. I'm Julio, hanging out with Francis. What's up? What's up, dude?
Oh yeah. Hey.
We appreciate all you guys who listen. Welcome to the new listeners. Good to have you, and we appreciate all of our OGs. Mm-hmm. We are out here, dude. So, dude, we were talking on the phone recently, as we do, and I noticed something. You pronounced something in a way that surprised me.
What's
so
that?
I would like to hear you say the name of a city, Hoboken.
Okay. Hoboken.
Okay, well, now you said it differently than you had said it on the
Did I
phone.
say Hoboken?
You said Hoboken. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
It's funny because when once you said this, I tried to revert to the way that I had said it. I thought, okay, I need to recreate it the way I did it, and I got it wrong.
I was like, whoa, is that? Now, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I have no idea.
Hoboken.
I had thought that ho was the emphasis, but bo could also be
Hoboken. Interesting.
I think it's Hoboken.
Yeah.
Or dude, let me ask you this: is the name William a 2 or 3 syllable name? William.
Three syllables.
But what about William?
Well, you just said it in a British accent. Why does that change?
William. I'm not even saying it in a British accent. William.
That's a British accent.
William.
No, you're not changing. You're British.
William.
Yeah, it's 3 syllables. You're just
William.
saying you're blending the last 2 syllables and making them fast.
I feel like either way it's weird. Saying William is weird. William.
Well, I think part of it is you don't often hear people, say the full name. William is a name that is 100% of the time truncated.
Will or Bill?
Will, Bill, Willie.
Billy, Willie.
There's so many iterations of it. Nobody gets called William. Even Williams who are in trouble with their mother hardly ever get called William. Do you know what I mean?
William, dude. It's a good name. William's a good name.
It is a good name.
That's a
Classic.
solid name.
I always think of William Tell.
Who's that?
Well, William Tell, I don't know much about him. I can't remember exactly. We all know William Tell as the guy who shot the apple off the head of another guy with an arrow.
Oh, I thought that was Lars Anderson, who we talked about a couple of weeks ago. But okay. So he famously shot.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, question for you: when you're at a table and you're cheersing, all right, cheers. Are you supposed to touch everyone's glass?
Okay, can I let me take my first gripe with this. Cheersing makes me cringe.
So what should I be saying?
Toasting.
No, but isn't toasting ding 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 ding?
You can raise a glass as a toast. You don't have to have a long speech behind your toast. A toast. Let's when people say let's cheers as
wrong.
a verb, I want to fucking pull my eyeballs out of my head.
So yeah, cheers is the thing that happens as a result of a toast.
I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong about this. Can you look up cheers and see if there is a verb form of cheers?
No, dude, it's funny. Saying cheersing is like the equivalent of saying Walmarts. Adding a possessive S to the end of Walmart. Walmarts.
It's just your cheersing is a pathetic verb in my opinion. We toast each other and we say cheers as the bow on the toast.
But you don't have to necessarily formally introduce it, which is why I just kind of pulled the word cheersing out of my ass in my defense. I'm not regularly walking around saying that. You just kind of hold your glass up.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It doesn't have to be as formal as a toast. You don't have to announce a toast.
Well, because dude, I notice this a lot when I go to be in that situation.
Yeah, back to your
whatever
point,
you want to call it.
touching every glass. Yeah.
So I noticed that everybody, so like half of the table will just hold their glasses up. And then maybe they'll try to make eye contact with the guy who's so far that we've kind of mutually agreed we're not both going to reach across the table to clink. But then you see the guy next to you starts clinking. And then you're like, am I going to seem insincere if I don't clink everyone?
Yeah.
So then you start trying to clink everyone. And then everybody puts their glasses down. And then Chris, who's sitting on this side, realized that he and I hadn't clinked. So he now puts his glass out. And now I have to put my fucking glass back out. Can we agree here to what the etiquette is for this?
So I have a couple thoughts. I have a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. The first thought is that the first toast around the table, you should be as comprehensive with your clinking as possible.
Interesting.
If there are subsequent toasts, subsequent glass raises, at that point, you don't need to touch every glass again.
Okay, well, question.
That second round can just be the
Okay,
cursory,
the
raise
lift,
a glass.
the lift.
Cheers.
So, but is there like an amount of people, sort of like when you're at a restaurant and there's more than 6 people, they include gratuity? Is there a certain amount of people that then makes, like, even if you can reach them, is there an amount of people where if you can reach, you shouldn't clink? Or if you can reach, you should therefore clink?
So my theory is that it's anyone who's within arm's reach without having to leave your chair.
Okay.
Let's not stretch, right?
Okay.
Having said that, the reason that I do make an effort sometimes to touch every stone, to leave no stone unturned and clink every glass, is not because I fear that I will offend anyone left out, but rather because I feel uncomfortable with, it's an OCD thing.
Okay. So you're like, I've hit 2. I need to hit all 6 now.
Yeah.
Okay,
It makes me, I have a lump in my throat if we've got 6 champagne flutes coming to the center and I get 4 of them and then people start pulling back and I say, well, hold on a second. What happened? I've got unfinished business.
Hey, you get back here.
Yeah, I need it. There's a finality, a sense of completion having touched every one of them. I need that.
Yeah, no, totally. And so there's a lot of things. I don't think there are really rules, and there's no like dad rule for this. And by dad rule, I mean like shaking hands hard, like firmly.
Yeah.
I would argue that another dad rule that I actually use is eye contact during a cheers.
Yeah.
During a cheers, that's proper, right?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. Cheersing really
Yeah,
hurts
I got
me.
you. I got you.
Thank God. Chris said it's not a word. I knew it.
Makes sense.
I knew it in
Whatever.
my language bones.
Dude, so like, but the eye contact thing to me only applies to a smaller group. Like, I'm not as worried about making eye contact with 6 people. If there's the moment where we all clink, I then feel like the eye contact isn't necessary. If it's just me and you, eye contact, 2 others, eye contact, even 3 others.
Yes, it's hard. The eye contact thing, you know the story behind that, right?
No.
So, and by the way, this could be a myth.
I'm
but
surprised when people don't do it, to be honest. If I cheers with somebody and they don't, if I have a cheers with somebody, whatever.
Don't sweat it.
Okay.
I'm over it.
And they don't do eye contact. I'm like, oh, well.
Yeah, so
jarring.
there is a sort of a derivation of or an origin of this. And I think it comes from the fact that in medieval times, people would keep eye contact when they toasted each other because the idea was that if you had poisoned my goblet, my chalice, then you had to look me in the eye as you killed me. And that somehow I'd be able to detect your duplicity.
Oh, interesting.
By looking you in the eye. There was something. I think there was something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan and Chris are fact checking and
Yeah.
confirm that to be true.
Ryan has the actual truth behind this myth here. What do you got, Ryan?
So you're mostly right. The reason why you make eye contact, the origin of it, is a way of showing trust. And essentially, if you were to poison somebody, you make eye contact with them so you can glance at their glass and make sure that as they sip it, any of the poison doesn't bounce into your cup.
So you're saying that they would have poisoned their own cup?
They poisoned their cup.
So if I'm sitting with Julio and I poison his drink and I go to cheers with him, I make eye contact with him and I also glance at his glass to make sure that it doesn't
Wait
pour
a
into
minute.
my cup.
That sounds like it's benefiting the poisoner. they're being careful to know that the cup that they've poisoned
Doesn't get into
doesn't
their cup.
splash into their own,
Right.
which makes it sound as if the eye contact thing is even more nefarious.
Right. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of what I thought.
Which I don't get. Like, why would you make eye contact? Why wouldn't you just look at their glass the whole time if you don't want the poison in your
so
glass?
maybe
To throw them off your trail.
Maybe no. Hold on. I think this is my guess. The eye contact is to say, if you are killing me, you've got to look me in the eyes as you do it. Right? If you've poisoned my glass, you got to look at me and man up. And if you sort of dart your eyes or revert your eyes, I'll sniff you out as a bad guy. But to your point, Ryan, it sounds like then you would look at the cup to make sure it didn't splash if you were the poisoner.
Correct.
We're going to go with that.
Dude, do people even get poisoned anymore?
Yeah.
Really?
In Russia.
Yeah, that's what, it's always like some kind of espionage thing. Like it's
Yeah.
rare to just be like at dinner. There's like an easy solution to this: drink from the same bottle and watch them pour it.
I think it'd be fun to get so famous that you had to have a taster. Someone to vet your food before you have any.
That's like the most high risk job, dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that guy's a taster. Crazy.
Yeah, but that's the other part of it. It's like, they're tasting sashimi at Nobu when they're that rich. These
right. They
these
get to eat a lot of
big
good
brawny
shit.
men. They're not they're not tasting porridge
Dude,
before Justin Bieber has his breakfast.
that's hilarious. Dude, I feel like a lot of these sort of traditions that have these roots, some of them can be like pretty stupid. Like I like the eye contact thing. It kind of is just like a nice bonding moment, sharing a drink. Like that's a nice thing, right? The whole cheersing with water is bad luck. Like how much you want to bet the guy who like owned fucking Budweiser came up with that
Yeah.
to make sure people bought
It
alcohol.
was an alcoholic who came up with that.
Hey, you have to have a drink, so we're going to make you feel bad if you don't have one.
Exactly. You're just ostracizing anyone who's trying to drive home safely that evening.
Right, or an alcoholic. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. It's absolutely what it is. It's amazing how many sort of bad luck inviting things have, while we laugh at them, they still maintain a tiny foothold in our brains.
Totally. I mean, dude, I had a ladder thing for a while that I've gotten over, but Chris
Ladders.
knows. I would walk down the street with Chris and I wouldn't even walk under a half ladder. So if there was a obviously full ladder, you don't walk under, but a half ladder, I would walk into the street around it.
What's a half ladder?
It's like, it doesn't open like an A. It's just, it leans.
Yeah, I'd still call that a full ladder, though.
Yeah, but like, are you walking under it if you're just on the sidewalk?
No, you wouldn't do.
I was walking in the street to not be under it.
But I kind of agree with that.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to walk under a ladder that was leaning up against a.
But you're not, because it's leaning up against the scaffolding and is in the street and you're on the sidewalk. So theoretically, and that's why I've been able to get over this, but you still think that that's walking under a ladder?
No, I see what you mean now. I see what you mean. Yeah.
But you're right. Like, dude, the bad luck stuff, like, I don't believe that a black cat's bad luck. If I'm driving alone, do I want to see one run in front of my car as I'm driving? No, I don't.
If you were to break a mirror, would you mark your calendar 7 years later and think that's when I'll become free of this?
I might be worried that I'll never forget that I did that.
That
The
sucks.
same way that I took a test to tell me how many people I'd sleep with when I was like 15 and it said 3. And I was so fucking sad for the next 7 years until I broke that number.
It took you 7 years to get past 3?
Yes. From 15 years old. Yeah.
I guess that's not that unreasonable.
Yeah. Like 18. Then I had a girlfriend for a while.
When you slept with your 4th partner, were you
I was like,
very celebratory?
I was like, why would I have ever let this fucking stupid online quiz take hold over me?
The moment that you began, did you think, man, those quizzes are full of shit?
Dude, no. Dude, like on number 4? Dude,
Yeah.
I'll never forget number 4 because of this. This is what happened. I was out at this place and we decided to go home together. And she goes, it was student housing. She goes, okay, hide in this bush. I think the RA's floating around. I'll come get you, but just hide in the bush. And I was like, God damn it. Like, this isn't going to happen. She's just going to go upstairs. I want to hide in the real bush. I don't want to hide in this bush.
Right.
So I'm sitting there and I wait for like 25 minutes.
Hide in a real
I'm like, she has passed out. This is not going to happen. She finally comes down and I'm like, oh my God. And we run upstairs and we're messing around and she goes, do you have protection? And I say, no. And she goes, we need it. And I was like, okay, fine. And I was like, where am I going to get it? She's like, there's a 7-Eleven down the street. And I was in such a rush to make sure she didn't like fall asleep or something. I grabbed her fleece by accident. So I run down the stairs and I'm holding her fleece. And then I go outside and realize it's not mine, but there was no more time. So I just squeeze into her little North Face.
Was it freezing out?
It was cold enough that I couldn't do it in a t-shirt. I'm now look like the Scarecrow and I'm running to the 7-Eleven. I run there. I run in the door of the 7-Eleven. There's a line of 5 people. I go, can I cut you guys? And they go, yeah, sure, dude. I then, in front of all of them, go and get condoms, wearing my little fleece. I'm like, condoms. I get them. I sprint back. We do it. And number 4 was oh so sweet, dude. The whole time I'm thinking, fuck that quiz. The stakes were so high. I thought that somehow I was cursed and that it would never happen, but I did.
Okay, so what was less comfortable, the fleece or the condom? All right, and then I have another thought, which is that, you know, I love the image of the 4 or 5 people in line at 7-Eleven seeing you burst in,
Dude, it's
in a
crazy.
women's fleece.
Dude.
Because at that moment when you're like, can I cut you guys? They don't know if you're fucking a fugitive or like Jason Bourne, you know, ready to buy like grain liquor to clean a bullet wound. You're wearing some random woman's fleece. Clearly, you've escaped the transport vehicle that was bringing you to Rikers, and you're wearing whatever you could rip off a clothing line in, you know, Harlem or something.
Or a victim.
And then you buy condoms, and they're like, "Oh, that's what it is."
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah,
Have fun, dude.
He's gonna save some woman's life with his penis. Her heart is giving out, and the only elixir is his dick.
Dude, what a W.
Amazing.
What a night tale of triumph of the human spirit.
Yeah.
Dude, so to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been pretty funny if there was a Simply Safe camera outside of the dormitory seeing me hiding in a bush in a woman's fleece. Dude, to our point, that's actually really, like, you came for the safety and you stayed for the comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
With the new Simply Safe wireless outdoor security camera that they've just launched, Simply Safe, the system that U.S. News and World Report names the best home security system of 2021, and has just gotten even better. This brand new outdoor security camera is engineered with all the advanced tech and security features you want and need to keep your entire family safe. Dude, easy to remove rechargeable batteries, so it doesn't need an outlet or any of that stuff. It's a very user-friendly, easy situation. And even if you just want to catch yourself slipping and falling as you're going to bring the garbage cans back into the garage, it's a good item to have. To learn more about the exciting new Simply Safe wireless outdoor security camera, simplysafe.com/oops. You will get 20% off your entire new system and your first month of monitoring service for free when you enroll in interactive monitoring. simplysafe.com/oops.
I gotta say, I can't wait to get myself a Simply Safe system once I, you know, buy a house someday. There's no point in having one in a New York City, you know, many apartment building just for your hallway.
Except on your roof, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. But like for me, I can't wait to capture, you know, when I'm in the suburbs or something, that incredible image of like a bobcat mauling a baby deer, or Santa, you know, proving Santa is real thanks to my Simply Safe when he comes on Christmas and stumbles down the roof, the slanted shingled roof.
Dude, speaking of which, have you ever heard of a thing called a Fisher cat?
Yeah, I have.
Dude, have you ever heard the sound it makes?
No, but I'd like to.
It's funny, there's this YouTube clip of it that's the first thing that will come up. And there's this woman who go, the sound that you're hearing, it's like just some lady sitting in her kitchen, is a Fisher. And it's just so stupid, the lady's commentary.
Huh.
But I don't think that's, I'll find it. But dude, it sounds like a haunted deity screaming into the abyss.
Oh, God.
The sound that you're hearing, the screaming, this is the sound of the Fisher cats in the woods behind my house. It's an awful sound.
And dude, it is the most terrifying. And when you see what these things look like, they kind of look like a weasel with like a beaver tail. They kind of like, remember as Mickey sort of matured, that there was that character Pete and his minions.
You're talking about Mickey Mouse?
Mickey Mouse.
No.
There was this character Pete who was like the big weasel guy, and then his minions who had kind of long snouts. They kind of look like Fisher cats to me.
By the way, I was not so close to Disney that I witnessed the maturation of Mickey. I didn't know he aged.
The reason it sank in is because Mickey Mania for Sega Genesis is one of my favorite video games of
I
all
see.
time.
Okay.
And the final level was the Pete level, because the game's actually really, really fun. It takes you through the trajectory of Mickey. So like level 1 is Steamboat Willie, like 1929 or whatever. And then level 2 is like Mickey and the Beanstalk. I think that's actually level 5, but it's like that kind of progression.
Interesting. Okay.
So whatever. So the final level is Pete, and but the Fisher Cat sound, dude, fucking insanity.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's good shit. Dude, I got something for you.
Please.
So speaking of bad luck, I've had a very bad luck week.
Oh, a little karmic reversion to the mean.
A little karmic reversion to the mean.
But you know what that means, Julio.
Are my brightest weeks ahead of me?
If you've started with a bad week, you've got some good times coming.
Well, I did get some good news that a certain project I was looking to before was actually being brought back. So it's too early to announce, but that's some preliminary good news, and that was the week before. So perhaps this is a reversion to the mean.
Ooh, okay. All right. So walk us through this bad week.
So anyway, the jackhammer situation has gotten to become very bleak. And I haven't been sleeping well. I'm doing pre-production for some of my new videos, which for now will keep a surprise to everybody. But I haven't been sleeping that well because I've been in a kind of constant mode of like thinking of stuff I need to write down.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get a notepad and put the phone in the kitchen, I think.
Yeah.
However, I'm falling asleep at like 3-4 in the morning and being woken up promptly at 7:29 a.m. to and the jackhammering is happening parallel to me. So it's directly across the street and it's on the floor that I'm on. These guys are jackhammering in the air. They're jackhammering in the air. So it's literally directly across. It's across the street. And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm going to fucking snap. And I wake up and do that. And then Hillary bought some like window insulation and we were trying to do it. And she set it up. And then I remember having this moment where I looked at her and I was like, you think that I'm not solutions oriented, don't you? And she started laughing because like it was probably true. She'd probably thought about the fact that like I just want to complain, but I don't want to do anything about it. So I'm going to try to be better about that.
Well, I have to say, of us, Sierra is the solutions person.
Yeah.
But I cannot express enough the satisfaction that comes with solving a problem.
Totally.
Yourself.
And the solutions are there.
And they are. We had
people have homes, right? Like the problem can be solved.
Yeah. Because we're such in New York, we've said this before, but we're such you can outsource solutions. You can pay for solutions.
And not to mention, it's the nature of the way that we live here. Dude.
Yeah.
It's like if you own your apartment building, you still baked into that is having your shit fixed for you.
Yeah, you've got
you
a
pay
super,
condo.
You've got all these.
Yeah, unless you have a townhouse, which very few people have that.
Right.
And if you have a rental or you own, people are going to fix it for you.
Exactly. And we had this. Our door to our deck, the sort of lock came off, which meant that we couldn't open it and we couldn't use our deck, which instantly sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked not to be able to use it. We use it every single day. We go out there. And we logged a ticket with our super, but he's got his hands full. There's 85 apartments.
Is he Albanian?
No, I don't know. He might be.
There's a lot. I feel like there's like an Albanian super mafia.
Yeah. Yeah.
One guy came here and became a super and then just made sure all of his friends were supers.
So I actually took a look and took a photograph of the screw that had fallen out that was needed, and then went to the hardware store, showed them the picture. They got me the screw. I brought it back. and then I had to find the right sized Allen wrench to place it back in. I did, and I opened the door, and the opening of that door was, I felt instantly like I had somehow learned how to be a carpenter.
Right.
In
That's
that
a becoming your parents moment, like
Yeah.
in the traditional sense. Getting satisfaction out of home repair,
So satisfying.
problem solving.
Yeah.
That is fun, dude.
But okay, so back to your issue, there is a very simple solution for this.
What is that?
You have to stop going to bed at 4 a.m.
I know it's hard, dude. It's just hard. I'm working on it, and I was in a good sleep cycle for so long that it's a new thing, and I'll nip it in the bud.
Why? What time does Hillary go to bed?
We are both in bed at like midnight, 12:30.
And you just are on your phone until 4?
I like
In
sometimes
bed?
I'll be on my phone. Sometimes I'll get up and go to the living room. Sometimes I'll just sit there.
You've gotta fight that. You've got to find a way to let yourself wind down.
Dude, counting sheep. I got to go back to counting sheep.
Yeah, or
It really works.
or reading a book. I have an incredible book. I have a book you would really like.
What is it?
It's called Animal.
Oh, I
by
saw you post that you were reading that.
Lisa Tadeo. She wrote 3 Women, which was a nonfiction book that
Everybody liked that.
loved.
I'm pretty sure Hillary loved that
This
book.
was her first novel. It is like
It's
just
good, huh?
mind blowing. I sit down for 30-page chunks, and every time I don't want to stop reading.
Interesting.
And every chunk blows me away.
That's awesome.
She writes about New York City from a female mindset, dating all of this. Her protagonist is kind of a horrible person, but you would love it.
Cool.
Anyone who's lived in New York, who's dated in New York, especially women, I think, will love this book. So give it a shot.
Good rec. Dude, all right, but let me get back into my bad luck. It doesn't
Yeah.
stop there. So I was writing stuff on my notes, and like I have days where I'm like, I'm gonna write comedy today. And it's like, I'm going to listen to this set because I know I said this different, and I'm going to write it down in my notes. And it's going to be this sort of like cumbersome activity that I have not yet perfected, but that's effective. And that while it's not fun, I force myself to do it, and I do it. So I spent like a couple hours doing that in my notes. And usually the notes just automatically sync to your phone. And they weren't syncing. And I was like, that's so weird. Why the fuck aren't they syncing? So I call Apple. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, it looks like your notes are like down for some reason. They must be doing maintenance. I was like, what do you mean they must be? Aren't you the person doing the maintenance?
We must be doing maintenance.
We. How do you not know that? Why wouldn't you email me being like, oh, we're doing maintenance. If your stuff doesn't sync right away, don't worry. So before I had like gotten to that step, I was trying to figure out why the fuck they weren't syncing, and I accidentally clicked notes in the iCloud thing, which makes it makes anything that hasn't sync. So all of my work was erased.
Oh no.
Listening to sets, doing things I don't like doing for hours, I then had to do again.
Oh my God.
Because they end up syncing again, but then it left that out. So it's like one of these weird moments where like the notes cloud system isn't perfect, right? So that sucks too. Then hour later, I'm walking around my apartment. I accidentally I kick the radiator with my foot, which should just be a stub toe. I broke my fucking toe.
Did you really?
Yes. Whoa. I broke my middle toe, which I've heard is the good one to break.
The middle toe?
Because you can just do the buddy system. You just tape them together.
Your other 2 friends splint it.
They say the boys on the aisle and the window are not the ones you want to break.
You don't want to break the one that went all the way home, or
you don't want to break the big boy.
yeah.
And you don't want to break the one on the other end either.
Okay.
So hopefully I'm feeling better, but dude, it's like, what the fuck? I was limping around, dude. And then also it's amazing. Like once you can't do a certain exercise, I like start to fool myself into believing that I've needed that toe for the past 3 months. I'm like, dude, most of the exercise you've been doing, you can do.
How am I ever going to participate in my co-ed soccer league?
Yeah, exactly.
My teammates are going to be disappointed.
So anyway, dude, I was moping a little bit for a second, and then I kind of just shifted to the acceptance stage.
Isn't it amazing how being injured at this age, you just desperately want to share it with people?
What do you mean? Be like,
You want people to know.
I broke my fucking toe.
Yeah. Injuries feel at this age somehow to me like an achievement. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. It's
my
like,
disc, my herniated disc.
It's a badge of activity.
Yeah.
Like, look, I was doing something and I hurt myself. You know, because we don't get injured when you're younger. You get injured all the time. You know, recess. You're running around. You fall off the slide. Whatever it is. Kids are always banged up. You know, Band-Aids, black eyes, stitches, all that. Sick. Home from school. There's always somebody hurt or ailing.
Yeah.
But now we just kind of sit around. Our injuries are hangovers or a sad, depressive day. So to be actually physically injured, to have something to show for it, I feel the need. Like, look at this. Look what happened to me. Or, you know, if you're lucky enough to actually go to the doctor and put in an air cast,
I know.
You get more attention. People are like, what happened? And you're like, well, part of you enjoys telling that story.
Dude, the other thing about this that's important, and I've actually gotten inspiration from somebody that I know well, which I'll talk about, but like there is this impulse to just kind of like the second you feel maybe ready to go for it, it's an impulse that should be ignored.
Mm-hmm.
You should allow yourself to heal if you're injured, because you will. And like the people that I used to live with, the father was a Lebanese guy, and he has this sort of like old world patient quality about him where like he'll almost let you lie to his face and he knows you're lying. He'll never tell you that he knows, but he knows that you don't know if he knows. And he knows how bad, like it's this sort of thing that like I'm unfamiliar with.
Huh.
Like if I was guilty, my parents would immediately be like, he has this way of being like, I'm going to let you deal. I'm like, whoa. So to that end, the way that he allows himself to recover from injury or sickness, I've never seen anything as effective in my entire life. And
what does he do?
He's just not a fucking hero. He will allow himself to fully recover as swift. It's a top priority for him. He will not try to risk it. He won't do anything that he's not supposed to do. He had like a torn whatever. And it healed, and it's just incredible. And when he's sick, same thing. He's like, I was sick. I fucking did this, and it's amazing. So it's inspired me with the toe to not try. I love walking around, dude. Walking around. So if there's work I can do on my phone, I'll just walk around the neighborhood and do it.
On your phone as you're walking?
Yes. If it's like...
That sounds pretty dangerous, man.
Fine, but like...
walk across the street looking at your phone.
While I'm crossing the street, I don't. And I let's say I have a good enough kind of peripheral vision situation that I'm not walking into people. Like I'll stop, I'll email, whatever. So, but I've been like, I'm not going to fucking risk it. And I'm already feeling better and I feel happy about it.
There's a specialist for just about everything, right? When my car breaks down, I go to a mechanic. When there's a problem with my shower, I call a plumber. So when you want to get your uneven, crooked, disgusting teeth fixed, you see an orthodontist. They're the specialists. And that's what sets Candid, the invisible, comfortable, and removable aligners, above the rest. With Candid, the same orthodontist who created your plan is with you from start to finish, so you never have to wonder how you're doing. The average Candid treatment is just 6 months. You'll start seeing results way before then, and it costs thousands less than traditional braces. And with your aligner treatment, you'll get Candid's teeth whitening for free. Candid can help you get the straighter, brighter smile you've always wanted. Right now, you can get started from home for just $15 with a Candid starter kit. Or you can book an appointment at a Candid studio near you today. Go to candidco.com/oops and use code OOPS. That's candidco.com/oops. Code OOPS. Take advantage of this limited time offer for $15 starter kit. candidco.com/oops. Code OOPS.
Yeah, baby.
Man, I tell you, I have grown more fearful of accidents in my life. I was biking, back to my apartment on a city bike, and it was one of those it was an avenue that was both directions of traffic, which is kind of rare. There aren't that many of them. And so I only looked to the right, not realizing that, because the last avenue had been coming from the north. It was southbound traffic. So I figured, okay, now this next one is just going to be northbound traffic. I only need to look to the right and I'll be clear. And I didn't see any cars coming to the right. So I just kept biking through. and a car was coming from the left, and he had to
shit.
swerve, and he was going
It's scary.
30-ish.
It's scary.
He needed to swerve behind me to not hit me. And this came on the heels of a week before I had been biking, and I sort of was late, so I was going quickly, and a traffic cop was this woman was sort of like holding me up, but then the cars stopped and it was time for me to go, so I just kept going, but I went a little early, and she yelled after me, "Someone's going to miss you."
Oh, wow.
Which was like
Wow.
the most prophetic,
Wow.
resonating
Wow.
way in the fewest words that she could have said that to me.
Dude, was she Joan Didion, dude? Like, what a like New Yorker good writer
it was so
comment.
kind, yet curt and concise to deliver that message.
Wow.
And it was so resonant because, I just got engaged.
Yeah.
We're planning a wedding, and my friends, all of this, and it was just instantly all these faces appeared in my mind's eye, standing over my tombstone, and I was like, all right, dude,
Wow.
you gotta fucking
Yeah.
cool it on your biking. And yet, sure enough, a week later, I had that thing. So I don't know,
Crazy.
man. I gotta be more careful. I really do.
Dude, totally. City bikes are like a dangerous thing. And honestly, I hope to never be so familiar with them that I let down my sort of like meerkat alertness that I have because of how seldom I find myself on one.
My problem is that I wear a bike helmet now. And it has given me the thought that I've all of a sudden installed some all-saving safety device on the city bike process. So I actually bike more recklessly as a result.
Interesting. Well, what about this? Like, are you less likely to bike to comedy because you now have a fucking helmet? So you have.
I don't really bike. I don't bike to comedy. I drive to comedy.
Okay.
But so here's another problem. Ever since I became obsessed with watching the Formula One show, my driving has become much more reckless.
How long did it take you to get into that show?
One episode.
I didn't really pay attention to the first episode, so I didn't, but I'll get hooked if I watch it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if God forbid, I get behind the wheel after watching this show, you all of a sudden think
You're
my
Lewis
car
Hamilton.
handles much better than I use it. This is a far more, precise machine. I only push it to like 30% of its capabilities. Let's see what it can do. How much will it hug the curb? The biggest thing is that these cars, the Formula One cars, you watch the way that they pass each other, right? And they're following in a line, and then all of a sudden it swerves. One of the car behind swerves so fast to the right and blows by. It's as if it just sidesteps. It's behind. That's to the right and it goes.
Crazy.
And that's how all of a sudden you start thinking, okay, I'm about to pass this guy. I'm going to give the wheel a quick jerk.
Right.
As opposed to blinker, gentle drift to the left lane, slow acceleration pass, which is how I've done it for years.
Well, maybe that story you getting in an accident wasn't a coincidence after all.
I know.
Mr. Formula One.
Well, I mean, the accidents I've been getting into have been, my car is
standstill traffic.
stopped and someone is hitting me from behind. So I don't think they're watching Formula One, but yeah.
That's what I do.
I don't know, man. Gotta be careful.
You gotta be careful. Dude, I went to an event last weekend. And let's call it an event. Doesn't matter what kind of event for the story, but let's just say that a big group of us were sharing a house in Pennsylvania. It was similar to actually the description you had of Hudson. It's like in the Poconos. The town had a candy store that's been there since 1950.
Love it.
There's a waterfall, and I think it used to kind of be like an old world summer retreat. And while it still is, it seems like maybe its heyday for now is behind it. Still a lovely town. This house we rented was sick. There was slept 16 people comfortably.
Whoa.
So there was 10 bedrooms or something and a couple double up situations.
I have a hard time believing that there is any house that sleeps 16 people comfortably.
I did too. 2 full floors of bedrooms above the first floor. It was mind blowing. And like 4 of them were like master bedroom type bedrooms.
But how many people are sharing bathrooms?
A few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be,
No, dude, totally.
It's just, yeah.
There are things about it that were like slightly uncomfortable. Like I had to share a bathroom with a couple of people, but it wasn't anything crazy. Like there was enough bathrooms for everybody. A couple of people had their own. We kind of decided to give the couples their own rooms.
Yeah.
And then sort of like anybody who was together. So a friend of mine who I was rooming with, this guy, Snyder, great guy. I haven't seen him in a while. It was one of those things where like you see a lot of your old pals, whatever. So we end up deciding that even though there were 2 rooms available, that the bedding was actually better in the boys' room, which is the one that we ended up picking. 2 full beds, like modern pillowcases and comforters. It wasn't this like old lady shit.
Yeah.
You know? You know what I mean by that? It wasn't like the room didn't look haunted.
Yeah, she didn't make the bedding herself.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So we shared a room, and dude, it was really funny. The first night, I fell asleep early. And this guy, he's kind of like...
It wasn't a quilt sewn together from her son's intramural basketball jerseys.
Dude, exactly.
I had to get that out. I was thinking about that. But anyway, keep going. Sorry.
No, it's fine. But dude, it was a really funny moment happened that everybody all like in the house thought was great. Like, I didn't realize this at the time, but apparently I went to bed and then Snyder, my roommate, continued to like drink more. Not to the point where he was like belligerent or anything, but he did something that he wouldn't have probably done if he wasn't, you know, had a couple Cockersons in him.
Yep.
And I didn't realize it at the time, but it made it make so much sense because it must have been 3:00 in the morning. He comes in the room, turns the lights on and just goes, "Big G." And it was so like, he was so happy. I was like, I was in no way upset, but I was like, oh, that's funny.
I'm so glad because if someone had done that to me, I would have shot them dead. I would have shot them dead.
It was totally fine. But dude, yeah, it was funny because I didn't even tell anybody the story until they're like, oh yeah, dude, like him and Hans stayed up pretty late.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, that makes way more sense. Dude.
Now, if anyone's out there listening, you know, you are not the Big G.
I am. My dad is technically the Big G.
Yeah, who does Snyder think he's talking
My
to?
dad is technically the
if
Big G.
I have to stand in for my old pal, Big G, Mr. Professor Gallerati here, and just remind everyone that, you know, he's the real Big G.
Yeah, absolutely did.
Yeah.
But dude, it was a reminder of all these like funny little jokes we all have. Like this guy's last name is Snyder, but at some point someone decided, it may have been me, to pronounce it with a French accent. So everyone calls him Snyder.
Oh.
Which is like pretty funny.
Yeah,
that's just like
that's
a funny little thing.
Once he got into bed and got settled, did you guys say goodnight to each other?
No, I was already passed out,
Yeah.
but the next night we talked and we didn't say goodnight.
How about that?
That's a callback to an old, very good
one
oops
of my
segment.
favorite segments we've ever done.
Yeah, talking about whether or not you say goodnight to
When you
your
spend
friend.
the night
when
with
you spend the night.
when we split a room with your buddy, with your guy friend,
Yeah.
a hotel
Do you say
room,
goodnight to each other?
bedroom, 2 beds, you know, only a sliver of space separating you, lights are out, intimate, quiet,
Yeah.
cozy. Do you say goodnight to your buddy?
Yeah, dude.
It's too much.
That's okay. Well, so we turned the air conditioner on just for the sake of like having a little bit of white noise.
You need
So
that.
Yeah, you really
Yeah,
do.
that's good.
So, dude, the other funny thing that happened. So we all know Brent. We all know and love Brent on the show.
Love Brent.
And Brent obviously is a man of sayings, and he says this one thing that I always thought was weird, but I was like, maybe it's just me being like unreasonable to think that this is weird, so I'm not going to put too much stock into it. He would always text me being like, I'm going to take rest. And I'm like, who the fuck says that? Like, and then I'm like, dude, I'm not feeling well. He'd be like, take rest.
Wow.
And I'm like,
It's very solemn.
I'm like, it's so weird, but okay, whatever. So we're all fast forward to the event. We're sitting outside at the house, you know, drinking some fucking claws, you know, standard procedure. And Brent stands up and goes, all right, I'm going to take rest. And without skipping a beat, all of the 10 people gathered around the fire start bursting out in laughter. Being like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? He's like, what? Take rest. Take rest. Standard. He always says that
Wait,
too.
did he say
Standard.
take a rest?
No, take rest.
Take rest.
And it was so validating that everybody, it made me
Laughed,
feel like
yeah.
a better friend that I never like got on him for that. I just let him rock saying take rest for the past 3 years or whatever. And meanwhile, everybody immediately went for his throat. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? He was like, well, just taking rest standard.
I'm going to recuperate. What was this event? Was this a bachelor party?
It was a wedding.
Oh. Oh, did you not want to say wedding?
I was trying to not say
we
wedding.
talk wedding so much. I've embraced it a little
well,
more.
especially because the wedding itself wasn't the story I had to tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could circumvent.
I have to say though, now that makes sense. I think splitting a house with 16 people at a wedding sounds really fun. Actually.
And dude, the house was sick. There was a tennis court, ping pong table.
Wow.
Dude, I made like a couple $100 playing ping pong. Which, by the
I bet
way,
you've got some ping pong skills.
I'm pretty good. Yeah. By the
anyone who played tennis.
okay,
is
so
good.
there's 2 other guys there who also play tennis. This is maybe me making a call out. I would still argue that ping pong comes to me like my hands were sort of always my strength as a tennis player. So it makes me even more kind of predisposed to being good at ping pong.
Yeah.
If you're actually good at ping pong, shout out Judah Friedlander.
Oh my god.
If you're doing like crazy shit, like he'll beat me more of the time, like most of the time.
We played. Remember that one time?
Yeah,
the
that was
three of
fun.
us went and
That was
played?
actually
Yeah.
really fun. We need to do that again.
That was fun. Judah's
Anyway,
the best I've ever played with.
I lost one game this weekend at the house.
Out of how many?
Probably like 12 or 13.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, I lost one.
How frustrating, by the way,
two.
is it when you're playing a guy and you're beating him and you're beating him and you're beating him and he keeps saying one more,
And he finally gets one?
beats you and then he puts his paddle down and he's like, all right, let's go get sandwiches.
Yeah, that's frustrating, but I quickly remind myself that I'm like 8-1 up, and that him
Yeah,
taking
but
a set doesn't mean shit.
They're ending on their high note.
That's true, but that's why you need to play 3 out of 5 games
I
to
suppose
11.
that's true. That's true.
Anyway, so Hans and I have gone back and forth. I was smoking him a little bit, and I kind of like to give my friends double or nothing until they can win their money back. In theory,
You
right?
guys are playing ping pong for money. I don't see that very often.
Yeah. So I gave him double or nothing, beat him both times. Finally, I'm like, all right, Joe, I'll give you 10 points, and we'll do double or nothing again.
Jesus.
Expecting to win, he won. Great. Hans back to 0. My other friend Timbo, not so fortunate, did double or nothing. Same thing, 10 points, double or nothing. Still took him. He was pretty juiced up. He had taken a couple games off me earlier. We're definitely a good match, but I happen to get the W's this night, right?
Well, you beat him you gave him a 10-point advantage?
Yeah.
And you beat him?
We were drunk. I don't think that I would maybe be able to if we were sober. But,
Okay. All right.
and whatever. Maybe the paddle, like there's a lot of factors, right? I'm not trying to take away from him as a ping pong player. He's very good. But anyway, I went up kind of like a lot of money on him. And then the next day, I just kind of like felt bad and I just Venmo'd it to him back. Right? Like, isn't there too much money where it's like,
No.
you don't think so?
No. I don't.
And he said to me, he's like, dude, don't you fucking dare. He's like, we did that fair and square. But I had
would
already
not-
sent it back to him.
I do not like that.
And I'm not trying to virtue signal.
No.
Timbo talks a lot of shit. He was telling me how you whooped my ass if we played tennis.
I've been in your position where I've taken money off friends and felt bad about it and wanted to give it back to them. And I've been in Tim's position. And I can say that at this point in my life, if I make a bet with somebody and I lose, if they try to let me off the hook, I feel patronized.
Interesting. By the way, this is the Tim who we're trying to get stake in the company, which, by the way, would have been funny if I was like,
so
dude,
he can afford it.
just give me 0.5%.
Yeah.
And he can't, but dude, I've sent it back to him.
It's interesting.
It was like I think it was $80.
I think we are at all right. So yeah, I mean, we're at a point now where we are, I think, aware enough of our financial realities to enter into wagers that we should honor.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
our decision. We know what we're betting. We know what the outcomes could be. I also like to think that any bets that I'm actually taking on, I have a firm belief that I will win. I'm not
Totally.
making stupid bets.
Totally.
And
Totally.
then therefore, if I lose, I was wrong and I need to honor the bet.
No, totally. And it's a good, yeah, you're definitely right. I think that if he had control over whether or not I hit the send Venmo button, he would have 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm sure, and it's very nice of you. Let me give you my example of this. I was playing golf a week ago with 3 other guys, and we set up a match, and it was me and a friend versus these 2 other guys. We crushed them on the front 9. I was playing really well, playing either to my handicap or better.
Were you doing best ball or no?
Yeah, so like
Okay.
the better score of the 2 of
Cool.
you on the hole. And I mean, I think I probably shot like 37 on the front.
Sick.
And with 2 birdies, and we were playing against good players, both of guys that were like 2 handicaps. I'm a 3.2, and my partner was like 4.5 or something. So he was getting a couple strokes. And so when we get to the turn after the front 9, the guys are like, because we beat them on the front 9. It was like a 50-50 100, so 50 front 9. Actually, we were playing 25-25-50, and the guys were like, we beat them on the front, and we beat them on the press. I don't know if this will make sense.
What's the press?
The press is where if you lose 2 holes in a row,
Oh, there's like a multiplier.
you do an automatic double or nothing.
Oh, cool.
And so we were beating them pretty handily, and they pressed, and then we won the press.
Do you have to choose to press?
We were playing auto presses.
Okay, auto press.
So
I like that.
they were down like $50 each on the front when we got to the turn. And then they said, we're going to double the bet for the back. And we were beating them pretty handily, and the amount of money wasn't crazy. So we were like, we felt like we had, my partner was like, yeah, absolutely. And I felt like I had to say yes, even though I did not want to play for that much money.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I feel you on that.
Up $50 on the front. I don't want to lose more than $50 total at that point.
And not to your point, you also don't want to start taking large amounts of money from your friends. You should theoretically be entering in what everybody deems to be a fair situation.
I don't really care about that. I don't care about them. I don't care about them. But if I'm up money or down money, I do not want to increase the stakes such that all of a sudden
You're right.
it can get away
It
from
hurts,
me.
yeah.
That's what, to me, protects me as a gambler.
Yeah.
Is that I don't think, oh, I'm hot, let's raise the bet.
Yeah.
Or, we're crushing them. Yeah, we'll do anything. You got to me, I keep my unit size roughly the same regardless of what's happening. And that just means I'm not going to lose a ton. I'm not going to win a ton.
Right. Dude, I have a running file of every, and it's categorized of every type of gambling I've ever partaken in and what I'm up total.
Really?
All time. Yeah. Yeah. Like a modest amount, but
Wow.
like a few $100 or
It's
something.
pretty impressive.
I mean, to your point though, it kind of just like keeps you accountable, and like increasing the unit size is like how you become a
It's
fucking
when
degenerate gambler.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So we get to now we're playing on the back 9, and because they've raised the bet, it's in my head. Now there are real stakes. I don't want to be playing for this much money. I start playing terribly. I crumble.
Oh wow.
Which was probably part of their intention. There was some real brinksmanship going on their part. We lose the back, we lose the press on the back.
Wow.
And by the 15th hole, I'm missing like 4-foot putts, which I'd been draining no problem on the front 9. And my partner's very aware of it, but he's not playing particularly well either.
Oof.
And so we're getting
The boys taking an L.
Yeah, we're getting crushed. And I'm miserable. I'm absolutely miserable.
Yeah, it's
it
not
takes
fun when it's
all
not
the fun
fun.
out of it. I can't play well. I can't get back on track. I have no confidence. And I tell the caddy, like, the reason that my game has gone to hell is because we raised the bet. It's in my head. I'm not somebody who likes to play for money. This is freaking me out, yada, yada. And I think the caddy subtly mentioned that to my partner. And then my partner on like the 17th hole was like, don't worry about the bet. I got it. And I'm like, oh, dude, no. We end up losing the whole thing. At the end of the round, he's like, I got it. And I'm like, no, I can't let you sponsor
No, totally.
a wager we lost that I willingly took on. I could have spoken up.
Totally.
And I didn't. and I was just as much a part of it. So, it was only $75 that we lost total.
And that's fine.
It's fine.
Sucks, but it's fine.
But the fact that because I know that if he pays my bet, our two opponents are going to know that he paid my bet. And all of a sudden, I'm this sponsored child that came along for the ride. And I don't want that. I don't want I don't want word to get out that I don't honor my bets.
100%.
A Lannister always pays his
Lannister always pays his debts. Well, Timbo, when you're back in town, let's hit spin for round 2. You're going down. Francis, you're welcome to join. And let's put some fucking cash on it.
Oh boy. I'm not going to preempt this ad. I'm just going to tell you guys how much we love Brooklyn Roasting Company coffee. I'm looking right at the camera and I'm telling you right now, it's my favorite coffee. I rely on it. We rely on it. It's incredible.
It's really good stuff.
They have so many different blends, so many different beans. You should try them all. The best way to do that is by joining their Coffee of the Month Club. You should subscribe to that. They'll send you different tins. They're so well packaged. It's glorious. It's fun. You can use the tins as vases for flower bouquets if you want. Make it a nice little colorful arrangement.
Totally. It's in the packaging is really pleasant to look at.
Yeah.
Not to mention your sex life will improve drastically.
Yeah.
And if you don't get that reference, that means you just started listening and you should go back and listen to a few more.
Absolutely. They have an incredible coffee peanut butter, which we die for. They're ooey gooey golly glop. If you use promo code OOPSBEANS today, you will get 5% off of your first order. Join the Coffee of the Month Club. Buy some different coffees to just try it out. BrooklynRoasting.com, promo code OOPSBEANS. Start today.
Email time.
Ooh, please.
Ooh, daddy. Ooh, baby. Okay, this is called Hinge Date Turned Sugar Daddy? ? Hey there. Big fan of the pod. Hoping to see Francis in Richmond at the end of the month.
Oh, nice. That's tonight.
Literally tonight.
Thursday night is my first night. I'll be there from Thursday until Saturday. Come see us. Come see me. Richmond, Virginia, Sandman Comedy Club. Tickets at francisellis.com. Thank you so much.
And she also said, hopefully both of you at a live show soon. Hopefully you've gotten tickets to that already if you're coming up to NY. Anyway, I'm in a bit of a pickle and I was hoping to get some advice from you guys. I moved to DC about a month ago and started using Hinge as a way to meet new people and explore the city. About a week or two in, I got a message from a guy saying, I know this is spontaneous, but can I take you to a Tame Impala concert tomorrow?
Oh, is that how you say that?
I believe so, yeah.
It's not Tame Impala?
I believe it's Tame.
I trust you guys.
I wasn't really attracted to this guy, and he was a bit older. I'm 23, he's 33. But I love Tame Impala, and he seemed nice and seemed like he wouldn't murder me and throw my body in the Potomac. I messaged with him a little bit, FaceTimed him, and then agreed to go with him to the concert. I could already sense that he was super into me, and I was worried he'd try to make a move on me, but I decided a free Tame Impala concert was worth it. The concert ended up being incredible, and the guy was really nice, but I still wasn't attracted to him. We parted ways at the end of the concert, and I was unsure of how I was feeling. The next day, he was texting me eagerly, and I knew I didn't want to lead him on any longer, so I told him I had fun, but that I just wanted to be friends and would be down to hang out again if he was okay with that. He told me he was totally fine with that because he just loved spending time with me. Fast forward a few weeks, and he's taken me to a hockey game, a J. Cole concert, and has plans for future sports games and concerts. He bought me a hockey jersey, a football jersey, various dinners and drinks, makeup, flowers, and a diamond necklace. He even paid for part of my friend's tickets who joined us at the hockey game and bought them jerseys. He asked to hang out with me almost every day, and I have to decline 3 out of the 4 things he invites me to. He texts me constantly, and although I only respond minimally, he still acts like I'm the greatest person to walk planet Earth. I've reminded him that I just want to be friends, but he continues to buy me things that I don't ask for. Although he's never actually made a move on me, I can tell he wants a romantic relationship with me and is in denial about the fact that I don't. Now he started to text my friends and even got upset when one of them didn't respond. Obviously, I defended her. As soon as I did, he backtracked because he didn't want me to be upset with him. Is it wrong of me to keep accepting these gifts if I know that nothing romantic will ever happen between us? Or am I doing nothing wrong because I've made it clear that I just want to be friends? Should I accept my fate as a sugar baby and continue mooching this situation until it all blows up in my face? I'm honestly a little unsure of what he would do if I tried to end things. Any advice would be appreciated.
Okay, you're not wrong to keep accepting gifts because you know that it's not going anywhere. You're wrong to keep accepting gifts because this guy is losing his mind.
Yeah.
You're wrong to keep accepting gifts because this guy is getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's red
He
red
does
flags.
not understand that this is a sugar daddy situation.
The big red flag to me is him getting upset with her friend for not responding.
Absolutely.
Because, dude, at the end of the day, like, what are you really getting? You don't want a fucking hockey. Who cares about a hockey jersey? The diamond necklace is the only sick thing I'm hearing. And who gives a shit about activities? Honestly, at the end of the day, J. Cole is great, but not if you have to hang out with some weirdo when you do it.
If you're embracing this as a gifts from a benefactor to me in exchange for my time situation, you need to be very explicit about what the sort of boundaries are, because this guy clearly thinks that he can buy his way into your pants.
Yeah. And the second that you stop responding, watch how quickly you get a little appreciation for everything I've done for you will be forthcoming text. Don't fall for that shit. You've made it clear to him. Don't let him manipulate you, but you probably gotta cut it off ASAP.
No, I wouldn't even necessarily say that she has to cut it off. I think that what she should do is she should tell him outright, look, I want to be friends. I don't want, there's no romantic future for us. That's not going to happen. However, if you are on board with the way things currently are and you can accept that this will never evolve into any kind of romantic situation, I'm willing to continue this, whatever this is, accepting gifts. It's just
impossible. It's impossible. It's not going to work. Like, with how nice of a person she sounds like that, he's going to keep giving her shit.
But it's fine if he keeps giving her shit as long as he doesn't think that it's just a matter of getting her the right thing that will change her mind about him.
But what kind of situation is that?
That's a sugar
every time
daddy
you get
situation.
something, I told you, a sugar daddy situation is getting money in my mind. I don't even think this is a real sugar daddy situation.
Yeah, but okay,
this is
a diamond
perks.
necklace, then it's not that hard to jump from that to pay my rent for the
Paying
month.
my rent, different. It's a new story. It's a new.
Yeah, but that's my point, right?
Yeah.
So if he's buying her a diamond necklace, it's not unreasonable for her to think, or for, it's probably available for him to pay her rent or her credit card or,
It's a different thing though. It goes from like him thinking he's being charming and sweeping her off her feet to now becoming this role player in her existence in a very practical sense. He pays her rent, so she spends, you know what I mean?
Okay, so maybe
It's a big
thing,
jump. It's a big
another
jump.
thing she could do is she could make him aware that she is still seeing other people. Does that?
Maybe, but then that doesn't necessarily, that almost makes him think that there's hope if she says it like that. I'm seeing other people still.
But she could be like, I'm seeing this guy. He's really great.
Yeah, but I think you can't go to concerts with him anymore if that's the case. Right?
Why not?
I mean, can she bring her boyfriend? I don't want my girlfriend going with some creep.
I think it's like the her mentioning a new guy or being very open about those things just further clarifies that she is not leading him on, that she's not, there's nothing, she's seeing other people, she's not interested in him.
Yeah. Dude, I really think the easiest way to deal with it is to cut it off. I mean, besides the diamond necklace, none of that stuff sounds that cool.
Do you know how fun it is to receive gifts?
Yeah, but like, dude,
think about Christmas.
Fine.
Imagine
dude.
if it was Christmas every day just because you were a hot chick.
Would
you stop that?
If I got a LeBron James jersey, I would immediately give it away. If I got a basketball jersey.
All right, so you need to direct him a little bit
Okay,
more.
fine. So maybe let's say she loves jerseys. I have a feeling she doesn't care that much about
I don't
them.
think she cares about jerseys, but that's just because this guy doesn't understand what she wants yet. What if she was like, listen, the jerseys are nice, but you know what would be better? A Breville coffee maker. A subscription to Brooklyn Roasting Company. Tickets to Oops the Podcast. Live show.
That's true.
Things I care about.
It just, I don't know. It sounds all too targeted. You're right. Like she could definitely groom him to become more specific to what she needs. But you're a young girl. Go fucking go out with a guy who you like.
The world has changed.
I guess you're right.
The world has changed. We have normalized this this sort of commodity for company exchange society, like relationship. Sugar daddy thing was not something that we knew about in pop culture 20 years ago, 10 years, 15 years ago, I don't know. And now, we know people who totally embrace this.
Totally, and that's completely fine. I just don't think that this is that. This just sounds like this creepy, abusive guy.
You think he's abusive?
Yes, because she responds to all of his texts. Wait till she stops. He's giving the friend shit for not responding and then walking it back. Oh, he can't control himself. If you're like on a sugar baby app, it's a different story. You're a pro. Like
you're a pro.
This girl is up against a lot with this guy.
This is my point, though. Why doesn't she just very clearly define the parameters of their relationship on a sugar daddy basis?
Because she's never done this before. So like she would have to bring on a new sort of school of thought into her thinking in order to be able to handle this, which you could do. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead and do it.
She should try.
I think it's not worth it, but I hear you.
Let's see what we can squeeze out of this guy. I want to see. Maybe she can get gifts for us.
No, listen.
Hey, listen. I love the jerseys, but could really use a new guitar. I've been thinking about getting into lessons or flights for 2 to I'm in Yara.
Right.
Under the names Francis and Sierra, I don't know.
Or Amangani.
Yeah.
Jackson Hole.
Ooh. Some Jackson Hole Diamond Cross Ranch t-shirts. How about that? Yeah. Let's see what she can get us.
Yeah. Get us. Yeah. See what you can get us. That's funny.
Dude, I don't know, man. This one, it's weird. I have strong feelings about this. I have no sympathy for this guy. I don't
either. I have sympathy for the girl.
I wouldn't even say I have sympathy for her. I am championing her.
Dude, I know, but it's like one of those things where as you get older, you start to learn, again, one of those sayings, there's no such thing as a free ride or whatever. That is such a real saying. Like, oh, don't worry about it. People are so generous and nice, and all of a sudden they now control you and they know what they're doing. And like this guy is doing that. And this girl seems really nice. And she naively thinks that by reminding him that taking her to see fucking Robin Thicke live on ice, that fucking, that she's not going to want to bang him. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's taking her to everything under the
Robin Thicke on ice.
Can we make that happen?
Picturing him singing Blurred Lines on figure skates.
But I like that we have opposing takes on this, and we'd love to hear some more sugar daddy, sugar baby stories, either gone well or gone wrong.
Yeah. I still feel like there's more to this that I want to.
Yeah, dude, keep
and I
going.
apologize if people are tired of this topic.
Keep ripping.
So you just said that you don't think she knows what she's doing.
She doesn't sound equipped to handle the situation.
But that's why we're
trying
get her
to
there.
equip her. Yeah,
and I just don't think it's that complicated. I think she can, as long as she is super honest,
which she has been,
then she's covered her bases.
He's continuing to sink his claws deeper and deeper into her, though.
Why do you think he has the power? I don't think he does.
She's always replying to him. Why?
She says she replies to 1 out of 4.
No, she accepts to 1 out of 4 engagements, but she's always replying, it sounds like.
Yeah, but she wouldn't reply if she didn't want to.
I don't know if that's true. I think she feels like she owes him a reply. That's
what
it feels like to me.
Because of jerseys?
Because of whatever bullshit this guy's buying her. Jalapeno poppers and fucking whatever she's buying her, dude. Whatever he's buying her, man.
Oh, another tray of home-cooked jalapeno poppers. You just bought yourself 14 replies. How thoughtful. Is that Gouda? How'd you get them inside?
But dude, all I'm saying is I'm not that impressed by this guy's hustle yet. Like, to me, the time has not yet come where she's like, okay, I can really benefit off this guy.
Yeah, but he might be biting. She might need to nudge him to the bigger gifts. It's a gentle sort of ascension of the gift ladder. It's like a It's like an advent calendar. The chocolates just keep getting better and better as we get closer to Christmas.
Yeah, advent calendar. Oh my god, dude, that's too fucking funny.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I really think that as she can own this situation, and you know, it is scary.
If she's not comfortable, she should not.
Then rip the cord.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're not.
Yeah.
Don't take our advice. We don't know what the fuck. We're not you. We're not a 23-year-old girl dealing with a 33-year-old man buying us stuff. We've never been there.
And he's only partially paying for her friend's tickets. That's another thing.
Oh, did that bother you?
A little.
Julio's annoyed that this guy's not spending more.
This guy just doesn't. This guy doesn't have the cash.
I think he does. I think he just thinks. I think he thinks that he's. Look, he is a savvy negotiator.
Right. He's not blowing his load too early.
Yeah,
is what
he's
you're saying?
like, let me see if buying you, this concert tickets does it. No, that didn't. Okay, let's up the ante. And he keeps. So there's no telling what he'd be willing to spend.
And dude, I'm gonna go out on a limb here though, based on the spending that's occurred so far. There's no shot that fucking diamond necklace came from Graf, dude. Like, this is probably, it's probably. I bet it was like $100. See if we can get a price tag on the diamond necklace.
Take it to a pawn shop. Flip it.
Flip it. Dude, good stuff.
Okay,
That's
we'll put that to bed.
discussion.
I want to keep tabs on that story though. So let us know how that
what's
goes.
going on.
I'm saying go for it. See what you can squeeze out of him.
Awesome.
That's Oops the Podcast. Take us out of here.
Oops the Podcast. Come to my live New York Comedy Festival show if you're in New York. Live stream it if you aren't going to be around. It's November 9th, 9:30 p.m. Links in my bio. We hope you come to our Oops live shows in New York City.
December 1st and December 7th.
City Winery. Going to be a great time. And if you don't make it or if you don't get in there before they sell out, we'll be back.
Mm-hmm. We'll do it
Francis,
again.
what else you got?
I got Sandman Comedy Club, Richmond, Virginia, tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. Next week, or actually November, I think it's 5th to the 7th, I'm in Providence, Rhode Island at the Comedy Connection. I hope to see you guys there. Tickets at francisellis.com.
Check out our YouTube. We're putting out new content on there that is not just pod videos. We're making some videos. It's going to be good stuff. We're excited about it. So get in there and check it out.
Yeah. Oops the Podcast. We love you. Thank you. Bye.